is up, guys? This is Bradley Abbott with butter, spice, and everything. And why don't you have a slice? I almost said everything nice. Anyway, guys, today I'm going to be myth busting mainly on salt. Today's topic is salt and the myth bust behind it. It's called Salt Blast. I think that's a pretty good title. But listen, guys, I'm going to start off by reading a segment. We're going to get into it deep. I'm going to explain to you why salt is good for you and not to worry about the taste of it and the fact that it doesn't really affect your blood pressure at all. Okay, guys, unless you have some sort of underlying condition. So, guys, I'm going to read a segment from an older journal article, and then I'm just going to get into this straight away. Alright, let's get to it. The first segment I'd like to read is from a journal article in 1983 done by medical doctors Dr. John H. Lara and Dr. Mark S. Pecker. And it's done. The article was named Dietary Sodium and Essential Hypertension, Some Myths, Hopes and Truths. The segment is, the first I'd like to get into is the fact that they said back in 1983 that there is no evidence to indicate that a widely applied moderate reduction of salt intake could prevent the development of hypertension. It was a myth, basically. And the other one is from foodrepublic.com. I'm going to pick apart this a little bit, this article, because I do not believe that it is, it's partly true, but partly false. I'll explain why. So this one is again done from foodrepublic.com. And the first fact they stated was most people should limit their salt intake to 2,300 milligrams daily, which is about 1 teaspoon of salt. The myth, your body doesn't need salt every day. Well, it does. I'm going to explain why now. Alright, guys, listen. The problem with the so-called fact is that everyone is different. We are all individuals to ourselves. So saying that most people should limit their salt intake to 1 teaspoon a day is just utter nonsense. You have so many people out there, including certain professionals, using research to their own whim, to their own profit. For example, if a company was to fund the study and they want a certain result and they expect a certain result, then therefore it becomes a biased study. Now, I know what a lot of you guys and girls out there are like, well, what if it's a peer review or a meta-analysis? Won't that outweigh anything you say, Bradley? I mean, well, no, not really. Because let me answer that with another question. I'll explain why. What if all the people in that peer review group or meta-analysis who did the research, who did the meta-analysis, were biased? What then? What if they were brought up in that group and they were all biased? What then? You can't take it at face value, guys. Do your own homework here. And, you know, it's... Now, we're all led to believe, for example, that the researchers and doctors have our best interest at heart, and maybe they do. Maybe it's not entirely their fault that they think that way. They've been brainwashed by their hierarchy. The people that train them believe this, and the people that train them believe this, etc. It sounds ridiculous, but if you put it into context, it makes sense. It made sense to me when I found this stuff out. There are some professionals out there who get this and who understand and recognize that there is a biased peer review groups out there. Another myth, carrying on from that, is that sodium has no health benefits. When that, to be honest, sodium does have health benefits. That's just nonsense. For example, did you know without sodium you will not be able to send nerve signals from your brain through the neuromuscular junction to your muscles, which, by the way, is important for muscle contraction in exercise and daily flipping movement, for goodness sakes. And did you know that without salt you wouldn't be able to make hydrochloric acid, which is the acid in your stomach that your body uses to break down foods like carbohydrates, fats and proteins into smaller molecules like glucose from the carbohydrates, triglycerides from the fats, and the amino acids from the proteins, so that they can be properly absorbed into the small intestine. I think it's pretty damn important, don't you? I don't understand why there's such myths out there around salt when all they need to do is pick up a flippin' anatomy and physiology book. It's not difficult to understand that it's essential for health, it's an essential nutrient, and it needs in the body. Now, if you were to go, if you were to go to your local library or you studied at a university and you picked up a physiology book, what's the first thing you see? At the chemical level of your own biology, there is calcium, phosphorus, potassium, oxygen, nitrogen, sodium, and chloride. It's important for your own maintenance of your body. Sodium and chloride work together to form hydrochloric acid, which breaks down those carbohydrates, fats, and proteins that we talked about. Now, I'm going to read another segment here from Dr. Joe Wallach's 2014 book, Epigenetics, The Death of the Theory of Genetic Disease Transmission. In this book, he states sodium, chloride, potassium, acronym sodium is Na, Na+, chloride is Cl, capital C, lower L, potassium is capital K in the elemental table, that sodium, chloride, potassium are three indispensable electrolytes, so intimately associated in the body that they can be presented together. Sodium makes up 2%, potassium makes up 5%, and chloride makes up 3% of the total mineral content of the humidity of the human body. All three are widely distributed throughout the body tissues and fluids. However, sodium and chloride are primarily extracellular, which means outside the cell minerals, while potassium is an intracellular, which means it is an inside the cell mineral. Sodium, potassium, and chloride are involved in at least 4 important physiological processes in the body. Now, you remember that we've already covered a couple of them. These are ones that additionally, the 4 of them are: number 1, maintenance of normal water balance and distribution in your body. Number 2, maintenance of normal osmotic equilibrium. Number 3, maintenance of normal acid-base balance in your body. And number 4, maintenance of normal muscular irritability and neurological impulse and neurological transmission. Do you think it's important? Sodium is so vital for your human body. It is so vital. You need to take these into account, guys, when you're looking up research. You've got to do your own homework thoroughly, and you've got to learn to recognize where the bias is in these things. But the problem is, the research companies and the pharmaceutical company are so damn powerful and have got so much money that they can literally manipulate the results of their studies if they wanted to, which they do. Which is why you won't find a lot of articles unless you know where to look. And it's scary. It's really scary that there's a lot of biased research out there. it's so scary. You've got to take it into account, and you've really got to dig deep and do your homework, guys. Especially you guys who are wanting to go in the profession of nutrition and dietetics. It's so vital for your success, and your integrity and learning to read in between the lines. All right, guys, listen. In a nutshell, to wrap this all up, in a nutshell, guys, the sodium is vital for human health and maintaining a constant state of equilibrium throughout the human body on a daily basis, and it needs other nutrients like potassium, chloride, phosphorus, and calcium to work. The human body works holistically, and that's absolutely vital information to understand, especially when you're out there trying to buy supplements in particular and you want to be healthy. And keep it in mind, guys, is all I'm saying. It's important for your health. It's absolutely essential, and you've got to keep this in mind when you are out there buying supplements and you want to be healthy and you want to maintain a healthy balance in your body. Knowing that the body works holistically is absolutely essential for your health. You know, things work together in the human body. The system, your own physiological systems in your body work together. The minerals and the vitamins and the amino acids and the essential fatty acids and the phytonutrients all work together. It's absolutely vital for your health. And keep it in mind when you're out there buying supplements. Again, all supplements aren't created equally. We're led to believe they are, but they are. Anyway, that's a topic for a future podcast. And definitely worth noting as well that you can't always rely on certain companies or research for the correct information. There's a lot of bias out there, guys, so do your homework thoroughly if you're wanting to get the best possible optimization products for your own individual health. Also, one more thing to say is before I sign off this podcast is that sodium together with other nutrients is also essential for satisfying hunger. Now that doesn't mean you got to go dive into a 2-ton pile of salt. It just means that it is essential for human health, and don't worry about salt. It has absolutely nothing to do with high blood pressure. It's a myth. It's an absolute balls up by the research companies, and honestly, it's done. Do you know why? One of the reasons I believe is people did decide to coin, quote unquote, coin sodium to high blood pressure because they wanted to sell high blood pressure drugs. Isn't that something worth thinking about? They did it, they coined it, the research companies manipulated it just to sell drugs because they know they can make money from it. Now, don't get me wrong, we all want to be rich, but there's an integrity out there, guys. Try and stick to it. Try and be a good person as well, and it's, again, salt your food to taste. Don't worry about it. Salt your food to taste. And how do you know you're getting too much? Well, it won't taste very good. I mean, when I eat too much salt, that face you make sometimes when it tastes horrible and yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like, don't worry about salt. Salt your food to taste. And don't worry about it, guys. Again, I know with this pandemic out there, guys, I know we're coming to the end of it, but again, stay safe and enjoy your food, guys. This is Bradley Abbott signing off with butter, spice, and why don't you have a slice? Thanks, guys, for everything. Peace out.